it's the Here For You podcast.
And we are your hosts,
Harper,
Valentina,
and Hillary.
Yay!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, my voice. We've been talking like literally so many things.
We talk a lot.
Yeah. This is going to be our second episode for the podcast. So excited.
Yeah.
It's our first series Here For You and your social media isolation. So we'll just be talking about social media, how it affects us, our hot takes, and all that.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like this is definitely an important topic to talk about.
Yes.
Just because, like, everybody basically has social media and stuff. But this will be a 4-episode series, right? And it's just so we can, like, dive deeper into, like, social media and how it affects society.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking a lot about our personal opinions on social media and like how it affects our relationship with God and other people and our interactions with people.
Yeah. Yep. And then we'll also be talking about whether it's an addiction or not, because I know that's like something that like a lot of people struggle with.
Yeah.
Right. And what the Bible has to say about it, right, in this episode as well. So,
I think, and then we'll be hopefully bringing 2 more guests to talk more about this. So stay tuned for that. But should we open in prayer?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you, God, for this amazing opportunity that we're here and we can just come here together for this friendship. Just bless us. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, for sure.
So we want to talk about social media because, we use it every day. That's probably how you found us, which is good.
Yeah.
And like Hillary said, it's important. We use it every day. If we're using it every day, it must be affecting us some way.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I was like, when I was reading the other day, it said like more than half of the world uses social media. I think it was like 60%. So that's
kind of crazy.
Billions of people.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I feel like since everybody's using it,
Yeah.
like it has to be affecting us in some sort of
For
way.
sure.
Because whether it's like through relationships with families, friends, God, like something's
everywhere.
up.
Yeah.
Since it's literally so normalized in society.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, for sure. But I also think that there are like a lot of like negative, but also positive aspects of social media, right? So like a positive will be like, this is how like we all connect, right? So you guys found our podcast because of social media, right? But then negative is like, it's been like affecting like people's mental health at like a really crazy rate, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And it's no secret. Like we know everyone, at least someone that's been really, really affected by it. So now it's more like, okay, how do we get there and what can we do to fix it? So I think what I really like about this is like I was doing research for this because I had a speech competition for Lions Club. So shout out to them. They're so amazing. They like help tons of students. So what you do is a competition, and the topic was like social media. Does it isolate us or connect us? So I did a bunch of research on it, and I came up with the ladder to isolation, and it's like
She came up with a whole concept, y'all. This is like crazy.
The ladder to isolation. Yeah, so basically it's like how we get there from like, because sometimes we don't realize we're doing it until like we're at the top and we're about to fall off the ladder and we're like, shoot.
And the higher up you are, the like harder you slap.
The harder you fall.
You just
Gravity.
Flat. So yeah, so we're just gonna be talking about that. I had an amazing time writing it and researching it, so we will definitely link all our resources there so you can check out more. But so with that, we can start with like the first step of the ladder, which is like no social media at all, right? So I'm pretty sure if we can think back on it, like when we had no social media, it was like you have no text, no videos, I guess like no reels if you're using Instagram. Just no contact with the online world. So I guess, that's pretty much it, the first step of the ladder.
Yeah, wow. So, I feel like that was a long time ago for me.
Yeah.
Right? But it actually wasn't that long ago. But I guess a question we can ask ourselves is like, how was life for us like before social media? Right? Like before we like all kind of got into like that cycle.
Insane.
Right?
Yeah.
So
I got social media right after I had moved to California.
Yeah.
Because moving around a lot, like it's hard to keep in contact with other people. Like
it is.
I would write letters to some of my friends, which was kind of old-fashioned.
Yeah.
But, you do with what you can do with.
That's
and
so good.
So then my mom let me I think I started off with Snapchat, and I was like in the 8th grade, maybe beginning of freshman
Yeah.
year, because my parents were really big on like not having a lot of screen time, which that has totally
Honestly,
changed.
that's really nice. That sounds like nice stuff.
So that was really it. And I think now looking back, I was kind of better living under that rock than having all of that outlet.
I get that,
To all of it.
I know that for me, like before social media, well, I actually got social media in like 8th grade. I had TikTok in like 7th grade, but it was really on and off.
Yeah.
Right, because my mom was like iffy about it, right? But 8th grade, after like COVID hit, right, I got social media. And but before that, I feel like I talked to like a lot more people, and it was easier to talk to people, right? At least like in person, right? Because like, I mean, no FOMO, you didn't know anything, you literally lived under a rock.
Yes,
right?
for
So I
sure.
mean, you just knew what like kind of people told you.
Yeah.
Right? So that was me.
And then I guess like for me, like in social media, like also like kind of like Harper's parents. My parents were kind of like, we don't want to like expose you too much too soon.
Yeah.
So I think it started off with Snapchat, I think, and then I don't know how, but I survived COVID without social media, which is
Girl, that is insane.
like insane. I don't know, but I think I got social media probably beginning of freshman year, I think.
Yeah. So I also had to go through COVID without that.
Yeah, no, it's insane. So I got it, and that's when I got it. And I think life before that, I was just kind of like chilling. I would like text individually more people one-on-one. I do remember that.
Oh, wow. I love
That's
that.
how it was. So I think that's the biggest change that I remember.
Watching
like
a bunch of Tiger King.
Yeah, no, literally, I would text more people one-on-one. I think during COVID, I would send people memes, I think, all the time.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so
They were like, I already saw this on my feed.
Exactly.
Thank you, Valentina.
Literally. So I think that's the biggest change that I remember. Yeah.
And that leads us to our next question. Why did we download social media?
Yeah, that's a really important question, because that's like, I guess like the second step of the ladder, like
Kinda
downloading
leads on to
social
that,
media. Yeah. I personally downloaded social media. Well, like I said, it was hard to convince at first, like my parents, because they were like, I don't really need it. But I really know that like just a bunch of information, even from school, is like at our like Instagram account from here.
Yeah.
Like the school that we go to. Don't edit it. It's fine.
We'll edit that.
We'll edit that. Yeah. And just the school that we go to, all the information is there. And I don't know, I feel like before, like if we don't have social media, not a lot of people talk about like what they're doing, their holidays.
That's true.
Like you're asking them like, what did you do this weekend? They're like, oh, it was good, nothing. And
It was
then
good.
and then on their Instagram, they're like, went to like Tahoe or something,
Yeah.
and just had this amazing time. So I felt like it really couldn't connect with people. So that's why I downloaded
No,
it, just
yeah,
to connect.
for sure. I got it. So, like I mentioned earlier, I got it during COVID, right? So, like, during COVID, you couldn't talk to people one-on-one,
Yeah.
right? So, also, we had just moved, right? So, like, there was also that aspect of it, and I still wanted to, like, you know, keep up with my friends and that kind of stuff, right? So, I got, like, pretty sad during COVID. Like, it hit me pretty hard, right? But I think, like, I just missed the socialization a lot. So, my mom was like, okay, you like, maybe Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Of course, with, like, a time limit and stuff, but... Yeah.
No.
Wore off.
You know, I got social media because, I had moved to a whole new place. I was still figuring it
You
out.
moved around a lot,
Yeah, and so at that point, like, I was, of course, my mom and my dad, they monitored it like crazy.
My TikTok is still on restricted mode. So.
Yay.
You know, my parents are always like, okay. But, sorry, mom and dad, I love you, but
Yeah, me too.
you know.
You know.
But, like, I really got it because then I was able to connect with not only the people that I had moved from, but, like, all the other people that I had moved from, like, years and years before.
Wow.
And I really liked that I could, like, see how they were doing, which was so much easier because, you know, when you write a letter, it takes so long to get there. Or, like, even sometimes texting.
But they're so cute.
I know. And even
love
sometimes,
letters.
like, texting people is hard for me because I'm always like, okay, how do I start off? How do I not be, like, so awkward?
Yeah.
But you're a great texter. You're a little dry. No emojis. But it's okay. We love your texting, Harper.
I'm working on it.
Yes, it's okay.
I'm working.
She's like, I'm drier than the Sahara Desert.
I'm drier than the Sahara Desert.
Using the soul emoji the other day, and I was so proud of her. I was like,
yes. Yeah, I think that's always hard without social media. You just like, how do you like talk to people? You're like, hi, and then they're like, hi, and you're like, okay.
Okay, bye.
Okay, we're good. But with social media, it really gives you like something to talk about. Like, oh, I love your outfit. I love the trip that you went to. It just like it really connects you.
For sure.
Okay. So that kind of goes into the second step of the ladder.
So the second step of the ladder of isolation is a sense of connection. And basically it's like the honeymoon stage of the ladder. Where, you know, we get to see what our friends are up to and how everyone's doing, even if they live far away. And it's just so like that euphoric feeling of just like, oh, this is so lovely.
Literally, like,
what could possibly go wrong?
Exactly. And it's all perfect. Everything seems perfect.
It's just everything is served on a silver platter, you know, from like what your friends are doing to what food they're eating. Like, literally, you're there with them every single moment.
Yeah, literally. I mean, like, now Be Real, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Be Real. I don't have Be Real. I mean, like,
I don't
know. Me neither. I don't have it.
But we'll see.
Fun.
But yeah, definitely. I think that like that plays a really big role into like how we see social media and that stuff.
Yeah.
And I guess like another really important question to ask is like, how did it affect us like positively, like in the beginning? Like what specific like examples do you guys remember? Right?
Yeah, that's so good because like I mean obviously we're not like social media is bad. Get off of it because we do understand there are like important.
Yeah.
I think the most like I guess important thing or like thing that I love from it is like Harper said I was able to connect from a couple of my friends from Ecuador.
Oh,
yes, I did, and I hadn't talked to them in like probably like years.
You're like, oh, I forgot you existed.
Right? No, I just like I wasn't able to connect because when I moved. We didn't really have phones and stuff, so I just like texted them and just to see what they were doing and what they were up to.
So sweet. Yeah.
So that was like my favorite thing, and then
I'm glad to see them.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
Like I feel like also I was able to reach out to all of these other people and see how they're doing because like I still have friends overseas. I have friends on the other side of the country, like. But I loved it because I was able to like chat with them and really realize, you know, that some things never really do change.
Yeah, and it's so amazing.
Just that kind of happy feeling of like, oh, you know, we still think about each other every now and then.
For sure, yeah.
And then
for me...
Oh, yeah, wait, I thought you went. Sorry, go ahead.
It's all good. No, yeah, for me, I totally get that like connection part of it, and that was definitely something that was like super important for me, right, with getting social media. But another really important part was like, whenever I would post, I remember people like, you know, hype me up in the comments, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, yay, you know, it was such
you are drop dead gorgeous. I am literally dying, laughing emoji.
Marry me right now, having a seizure.
The things we come up with, like, so funny.
It's so funny. Yes. And it's like all of our girlfriends, you know, like, mommy?
Yes,
all of that. So it's like
all of that.
It's so funny. But yeah, I felt really good about all of that.
Yeah.
But
I think another thing that I really liked about social media is because before, like, you would see all these Christians influencers, and, like, some of them, you guys, they're so deep. Some of the like reels that I'm like,
they're
wow.
really deep reels.
Yeah.
Like the ones you were sending me yesterday.
Yes.
Those got me thinking. I was like, this hit home.
Right? So, thank you to our Christian influencers as well, because it makes it seem like we're not alone. Like, we're not the only ones that are
for sure.
Yeah.
And so, I guess that kind of leads us into, like, step 3 of the ladder, right? Which is kind of when it starts going downhill. Right?
Crashing down.
The social media overload, right? So, we're not really at that, like, you know, happy part anymore. And it starts, you know, kind of going down.
It will get deep.
Yeah, for sure. And so, I guess... My thingy is glitching.
You're good.
We'll
I think I can help with that. Because the third step, we just kind of begin like getting too much of it. We pass the honeymoon stage, and we're like, okay, we're spending more time on this than we are with actual people. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's
for sure. And then like even that kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier, right? Where like you're comparing yourself, right, to like other girls, right?
Yeah.
And then also like, oh, this person didn't comment on my post this time.
I know,
right?
yeah. How dare they?
And then the overthinking.
Well, what did I do to her?
We're not friends anymore?
Like, you know, I'm gonna unfollow her. You know? Like, it just starts a bunch of, like, comparison.
Toxic
and you,
thoughts.
like, and so it can just cause drama and stuff like that. It's just, like,
Yeah, so we can talk about, like, when do we feel the negative aspects of social media?
Yeah,
when did you feel it?
I definitely feel like I felt it when it came to like seeing my friends from other places that I moved from kind of like move on without you. And it kind of sucks because when you would see all...
I so get that.
And you're just like, oh, you know, I wonder how it would be if I was still there. And also, it's struggling with, like, body image. Because I know, for one, I have always kind of struggled with that. Like, I never really liked the way I looked at all. And so when I see all of these other girls and I'm like, wow, you know, I wish I had hair like that. I wish I had lighter eyes. I wish my body looked like that. And then, like, slowly starts to chisel away at you because you're like, you know, I wish I looked like that. I wish I could, like, be like that. But yeah.
I remember for me, it was actually something really similar, right? But it was also because I followed this store on Instagram, right? It was called Brandy Melville, right? And I mean, their clothes are so cute, but they only sell their clothes in one size, right? And most of that stuff is an extra small, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would fit into the clothes, and they would promote a lot of their stuff on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
And so I fit into clothes, fine, right? But I didn't look like those girls on their Instagram accounts, right? So I'd compare myself to them. Okay, what can I do to make myself like a stick? Okay.
Wow.
I was not even okay with, like, you know, weighing 100 pounds. I was like,
Really?
I gotta get to 80.
Wow.
Like, that was my goal. I wanted to weigh 80 pounds at like
Really?
14.
That's
it was
insane.
like insanely unhealthy. I stopped eating and stuff. It's okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, we're just learning this. Like, literally. Wow.
But it was hard for me. I feel like that was really hard. And like, I mean, it was a season. It's past now.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but that was definitely like
no, that's so sad because like it's not just us. We know like people like younger than us are dealing with this, and we're like they shouldn't be.
I'm
like
we're a little
so
too
sad.
young for this.
Little kids now, you know, like they're like what 6th grade and they're like already worrying about this.
Exactly.
Like, be a kid, please.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I didn't
Enjoy your
Sort of
childhood.
unicorn onesie.
Exactly. Unicorn onesie,
Yes.
like huge chubby cheeks.
Those Claire's cat ears stuff.
Literally.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I feel like for me, how it negatively affected it is definitely like I said, I'm a perfectionist, right? So I would want everything to be perfect. So I would just spend so much time on like editing my picture or making it. It's like, no, it's not aligned perfectly, this and that. And just like being, like you said, like, oh, he didn't like it or she didn't like it. Like, why? Like, are they not liking it?
Yeah.
Like, am I not good enough? Like, all these thoughts are just not necessary.
And it becomes like overwhelming.
It
Yeah.
does, because you're like, wait, why didn't I like it? And then also, I guess another overwhelming part is just like having to keep up with everything once you get more followers.
Oh yeah, and like the
You're
trends,
like,
you know?
Yes, you're like, wait, am I doing this right? And then it's just so much. So I would remember I would get like headaches, literal headaches. Yeah, and I was like, okay, it's fine. I would just ignore them. I'm like, it's fine. It's like it's okay. But it's not. Like if we're getting like actual physical pain from it, then probably not good.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, and also, like, wow, I read about this couple who went on their honeymoon, and the wife, she was so obsessed with social media and posting about it and about their trip that she barely spent any time with her husband.
That's crazy. Like,
on her
girl, you
honeymoon.
just got married.
You just spent thousands of dollars on a wedding.
Be like your husband, please.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
I think it was a New York Times article that ran in June 2018. If you guys want to go back to it and look at it.
You guys can go back to it. But yeah, that's like, I feel like it's kind of crazy because like she chose social media over her husband.
I feel like sometimes we unconsciously do that too, you know?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not like,
for sure.
wow.
Yeah.
Insane.
And it kind of like, I feel like that's going to affect their relationship like later on because it kind of shows like where her priorities lie.
Yeah, you gotta priorities.
Yeah, right?
Priorities.
But yeah, that's definitely like tough for her.
Yeah, because like, and I think it's just like maybe we may not get to that point, but we're like, if we don't realize that we're getting there, we might like actually get there, which is so sad. And then I know like most of us like just end up like mindlessly scrolling, like we don't even realize how much we
I've
spend
been on
it.
TikTok for like 4 hours.
Exactly. And we don't even get anything out of it. Like maybe sometimes like, oh, one good reel, like it makes you think about it and you're like, okay, whatever. Keep on
You know
going.
those reels that tell you like get off your phone and go be outside?
Yes.
You look at it, you think about it for like 10
like,
seconds, and then you're like,
I'm good.
it's okay.
Just keep going. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll watch a couple more. And like they're
Yes.
15 seconds long, so like
You're like, oh,
it's
this
just one
can't
more.
be
It's
that.
just 15
Just
seconds.
one more.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess that the next question we can ask ourselves is how has social media affected our mental health?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, it was like a lot about like my body image and that kind of stuff, right? How I viewed myself and all that. And it was hard on me, like 8th grade especially, and then like beginning of freshman year, right? And then there was this point where like I started like being stalked by someone, right? And I feel like that was hard on me too, because I was like, okay, well now I need to be perfect. Yeah. Right? Like someone's literally stalking me, zooming into my pictures and all of that, right? Making fake accounts and all that, right? So, I mean, it was tough for me, but, like, you know, I think we're getting better now.
Yeah, I think we are. No, for sure. I feel like for mental health as well, it just, like, that can be with, like, anxiety, just all of that. Yeah. I definitely feel like, I don't think it necessarily, like, what's it called, sent me to therapy, thankfully. I think.
That's good.
Yeah, but I do think it's, like, all those negative thoughts that are just so many thoughts coming at you, and then you're, like, don't know what's true, what's real and what's not. And I remember hearing this other day that every day, like, you're faced with, like, 2 truths and 1 lie, maybe from, like, what's it called? Like, your brain, like, all those thoughts that you think, they're not all true.
It's
like,
true.
So it's like, maybe it'll be like, oh, I'm spending too much time on my phone. Oh, she looks perfect. Oh, well, that means I'm not perfect, right? And I'll just, like,
definitely.
This whole balance.
And I definitely feel like for me, it's really fed into my depression, because it's just these cycles where, like, I see all of these girls in bikinis on yachts, like, looking great, and they all look like they're having so much fun. And to me
that's bloated.
Eating chips,
same.
And
then when it's me laying in my bed, kind of dead inside. And then I'm kind of like, you know, if I looked like that, then I would be happy. It just fed into my depression so much, because I'm like, other people can be so happy and feel so happy.
Okay, but, like,
why don't I get to feel like that?
A lot of those people feel the same exact way we feel.
It's like the other way around, because then they might be instead like
those
girls. Those girls might be, wait, I look too fat in this, and they might be like
editing their pictures. A lot of that isn't even true.
It's so hard and toxic, and I know that because I think before, even like during COVID, or like maybe I guess during breaks in summer, just see people having so much fun, like going to Hawaii, this and that, and you're like, wait, hold up,
I want that.
Can I do that? And you're like, why not me? So it's like vicious cycle.
And it just sucks that a platform that like was once so good and like used to be used for good just becomes toxic, and that then leads to our next stage, which is addiction.
And so now we can probably talk about what being addicted to social media like looks like, right? So Harper, what has that like kind of looked like for you?
For me, it's just like aimlessly scrolling, kind of like distancing myself from other people as well, and kind of like being sucked into my phone and not really listening to the things going along
around you.
Around me.
I think for like the step 4 of the ladder is like it's just addiction, you know, because, you know, I think another like clear side of it is like when your mom tells you or someone tells you, you're like, no, I can change, I can give it up anytime I want to.
Well, I mean, I personally don't think that like I'm actually addicted. Like I can stop when I want, you know. It's just like
I was like, Hillary.
I'm like,
like,
Hillary.
No, that's what an addict would say. Okay. I don't know, but
side eye.
Like, no, it's because you're like, it's every notification. You're like, wait, hold up, who's that?
Let me see, who's that?
Let's pause.
Who is that?
Oh, she texted me. I'm just kidding.
Right?
No, it's just like insane, and you just keep coming back to it, and like you don't even notice that you're scrolling for hours.
Right?
Wow.
And so like I guess for me, it's also like, you know, the scrolling for hours thing. Right? And then like I don't have Instagram notifications on my phone, because I'm like, you know what, we're trying not to be addicted.
Smart.
No, it's not, Valentina. You know why? Because I have the Instagram open on my phone, and I just refresh my feed, trying to wait for like the little red dot to show up by the heart.
That's so sad.
It's actually like my screen time is bad. I am sorry, Mom.
No, for sure. And then just another thing to add to it is like that's why I always have my phone on Do Not Disturb. Like it's not a you thing. Like, it's a me thing. Like
it's not you. It's me.
It's actually me, because I feel like a lot of my friends ask me like, oh, why are you on Do Not Disturb?
Like, are you mad at me? Like
no, it's not you. It's me. Like I just feel with every notification I have to check it, and I feel bad if I don't respond right away.
That's good. So now we can go back to what we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
That, like,
social media is a drug. We are drug addicts again. I'm just kidding.
No, but I mean, like, it kind of is.
Yeah.
if you look at like the definition of like what is like an addiction, right,
and what
like,
is a drug,
you're literally always going back to it, right? No matter how bad you felt after, you always go back to it because you remember the high, right? And then a drug, like that's like it increases your dopamine levels.
For sure. When I was researching, I remember, I think it's Dr. DeAngelis, she was saying how, like, you know, we go back to it drives surges of dopamine to the brain. So that's like, you know, the hormone, what's it called? That makes us feel happy, just like, and it just like,
Serotonin.
And then all of the shares, likes, and comments, they just trigger that in the brain's reward center. And we're like, wait, we want more. Like, we want more of this.
We want more.
But it's like, it literally results in a high similar to what people feel when using like drugs or like gambling. Like, it's that bad. Like, it's an actual scientific proven
That's
thing.
absolutely.
Well, now we're drug addicts.
That is absolutely
Actually,
insane.
We're not drug addicts, just to like, you know what we mean.
Social media addicts.
Social media addicts.
Not drug addicts. But
we're gonna have to put that on like the little reel.
Cue that on the bloopers.
Yeah, blooper. Yeah, we're not drug addicts.
You know, and now we can go on to talk about how social media has affected our relationship with God.
Yeah, which is so important because I always like say, oh, I'm so busy, like I can't, like I always try to put God first, like, you know, wake up in the morning, read my Bible, pray and all that, but sometimes I'm like, wait, I don't have enough time, like I'll just do a quick prayer, look at a quick daily Bible verse, but then you look at your screen time, you're like, wait, I actually have so much time, like
I was on my phone for like 6 hours.
6 hours, like wait, maybe it's just like you just don't realize it. So I felt like more distant from God because you're like, I'm busy, but then you're like busy with something else. So that's how it's like affected mine.
Yeah, I know that for me, like it has totally been that, right?
Yeah.
Like obviously the like maybe scrolling on like TikTok for 2 hours and then saying like I'm too busy to like read my Bible and that kind of stuff. Yeah. But also like I feel like I've placed my identity like so much in like who social media says I am.
Wow.
Than like in who God says I am. Right? So like I feel like that also has kind of like, you know, been hard.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because then you find your worth in every like, every comment.
Exactly.
Every
and when you don't get it, it's hard.
It's
right?
hard. You're like, oh, okay.
Sure. I know for me, like, it makes it harder to believe that God created me for how he wanted me to be. Because I look at all of these other people. I'm like, look, like, they look beautiful. They look awesome. Like, why am I not like that? Like, did God not love me or take his time with me to make me pretty?
And then in the comments section of like these girls like, you know, TikToks and Instagrams, it's like, oh, God clearly has a favorite.
Right? It's like so.
And that kind of sucks.
Okay. It's like putting salt to the wound.
Exactly.
It's like putting in the knife and then just keep on turning it, turning.
Gosh.
And like we do that ourselves. Like
so do that.
Yeah, and so another thing is like that I found is like we're literally slaves to every notification. Like I bet if we put like a dinging motion, and you think it's your phone, you're gonna go to it. You're like ding, like wait, your phone. Where is that? And it's like experts discovered that like on average, Americans check their phones. Are you ready for it?
This is so bad. I heard it the other day and I was in shock.
Yeah, it's 344 times per day, which is like whatever, but it's once every 4 minutes.
Once every 4
that is
minutes,
crazy.
you check your phone and open up Instagram or Snapchat.
Or you just click it, you know, you're like, oh, did anyone text me? Nope. Okay.
Or like when it's somebody else's phone and in the car and everybody's like, oh my gosh.
Wait,
whose is it?
Oh, it was yours.
Yeah. It's once every 4 minutes. Like you could be doing so much more with that time.
I need to use my phone less. Yes. Like honestly, we are so hooked to the point that like we can't even imagine life without social media. Yeah. Like so I went to Hawaii a while ago. Right, I literally had this Pinterest board for pictures I'm going to take in Hawaii to post on my Instagram.
Me too. Stop.
Like, it's so bad.
Yeah, I also did that for I think when I went to New York as well. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this one.
And you have the poses already.
Yes, I remember actually. I feel so bad because we went on a family vacation also to San Diego. And I was spending more time. I'm like, Mom, do this picture. She was like, we're spending time with family. Yeah. I'm like, no, but I want my picture to be perfect. And then it's like
that just kind of shows the isolation part of it, right? And then this is our final step of the ladder.
Yes.
Yeah, right? so unfortunately, addiction and isolation go hand in hand, which leads us to the last step, step 5, isolation.
Yeah, so Yeah, you can read.
Yeah, Free by the Sea says that when someone becomes addicted, it becomes their primary focus. They distance themselves from others, and they devote more time to using their substance of choice. As social media addiction worsens, we substitute quality real-life interactions for a quantity of empty virtual ones, and thus physically and emotionally isolate ourselves. Yeah. So that leads me to thinking, why is this important to our mental health and the world around us?
Yeah, I think it's just going back to that, it's so crazy how, like, I remember when doing research Free by the Sea, they literally help drug addicts, right? And so, but this is so sad that we can apply this to social media. Like, we just distance themselves from other people. Like, you know, like I said, like, I feel so bad. Like, sorry to you, Mom, and everyone else, because they just, like, taking pictures, but it's like, no, we're just become so isolated, and we spend more of that time.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that for me, I even, like, would plan out, like, days I would post. I'd be like, okay, next Tuesday, I'm gonna post this.
Or, like, I think I would know what time people are most active.
Valentina! It's okay, though.
It's 5 p.m., guys.
It's 5 p.m. We will be... That's why we're posting our podcast.
Yes,
oh, my gosh.
It's always, like, 5.
See, there's a science to it, okay?
There is.
Science.
It's really bad.
But, yeah, we know that many of us have, like, an addiction, right? Even though we might not like to admit it, like, kind of, you know, kind of joking around as earlier, right?
For sure.
But, yeah, addictions tend to be, like, super unhealthy and all of that. Yeah. And especially dangerous.
Yeah, and then I feel like connecting it to the Bible, we did find, like, Proverbs 18:1, like, why is isolation bad? It's like, Proverbs 18:1 says, a man who isolates himself seeks his own desires. He rages against all wise judgment. Yeah, so that's like, I'm gonna let that sink in.
But yeah,
it's like we're like, what's it called? Prioritizing ourselves. And I think it's in Matthew something. It's like, we'll link it later.
We'll write it down.
We'll write it down. But it's like, we need to crucify your own, like, desires and all that to be like, because then we're just doing what we want and not, like, prioritizing God and everything.
Yeah. So let's end with some reflections that maybe you guys can talk about with others, journal about, or just let us know. Shower thoughts. How do you feel before, during, and after using social media?
Yeah.
And take a look at your screen time on social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. How long are you spending on it? And then think about your quality time with God, whether it's praying, reading the Bible, connecting with Him. Yeah. Which of your number is greater?
Yeah. That's insane. Sure. Yeah, maybe we should do, like, little journal things, prompts and stuff.
We should do that. Yeah,
that'd be really cool. Yeah, because, like, you can do that with anything. Honestly, like, your quality time with God, with your loved ones, friends. Like, which one are you prioritizing? And it's not like until we can see a hard, cold, like, number on our phones that we're like, oh shoot, we're addicts.
Yeah,
but definitely. And it's so sad because, like, isolation just leads to, like, loneliness, and I feel like we're just becoming, like, a sad generation with happy pictures.
Yeah, dang, that was.
Yeah. And the fact that might go down in history.
Yeah,
we're such a sad generation, and it's true. And we have, like,
really happy pictures, and then I feel like there's also just so much, like, we know what's, like, goes on behind that picture, but no one else knows. We're like, So, but yeah, we just gotta. Yeah, we'll be talking more about that, but we ideally, like, for us as well, we want to put, like, God at the top, you know. For 1 Corinthians 10:31, it says, like, so whether you eat or drink or whatever you do it all for the glory of God. Yeah. So we really want to think, is this, like, glorifying Him, like, with every, like, just what are we doing with our lives, basically.
Yeah, and for sure, like, we know that, like, everybody struggles with, like, you know, these kinds of things. Right, so if you're struggling, it's totally okay. Like, if you want to share that with, like, someone around you, right? Like, whether that be your mom, your dad, I don't know, another, like, adult you trust, maybe. Or us. Yeah. If you guys want to share your stories with us, you can DM us or anything like that, right? But we just want to be here for you guys, right? And let you guys know that you're not alone.
Yeah. We'll be talking more about also like applying what the Bible has to say in more like later episodes. So keep on that. This was just kind of like our little intro of what the series will be.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And
so I'll recap the little steps of the ladder. So first one is like no social media, right? I think I can start from me. And then the second one is downloading social media, the social media honeymoon, right? And the third one is social media overload, right? And the fourth one is after that addiction, and the last one is like isolation. So you go like up and down all the time, and it's like we choose where we want to be in the ladder. Like,
right? Yeah.
We're like the ladder is a movie.
Social media control us, we control.
Yeah,
it, right?
I think the dramatic line I ended up in like in my speech was like, the ladder doesn't move, we do. Mic drop. Yeah. Yes.
Dang, that's she's like such a good like
she
debater.
is.
Like that's incredible. But,
she's good with words.
Yes.
She is really good with words. But yeah, so our next episode we're gonna be talking to someone, Ella.
Yes.
Right? That's
my sister-in-law.
her sister-in-law.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Insane.
basically, she doesn't have any social media at all.
Yeah.
Right? And we'll see like how she kind of thinks, right, about social media and like how that affects her.
Yeah.
Right? And then later on, we'll have an episode with somebody who just really loves social media and uses it often.
Yeah, and they use it
Right?
for the good. So both of them are like our guests. We could say Christian mentors. We really look up to them, so we want to hear what they have
Both
to say.
opinions and like weigh the options,
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So let's end with a prayer.
Yes, let's do it.
Yeah. Here, do you want to pray for us, Harper?
Yes.
Sure. Dear Lord, thank you for bringing us together for another episode of this podcast. I hope we can shine your light onto all of our viewers and let them know that in this journey, dealing with isolation and feeling alone in this big world, Lord, that they are not alone and that we are here for them and that we will help them come to their own realizations about their use and find their way back to you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. That was so good. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, you guys.
Yes, that was our first episode to a series.
Yeah,
like
that
actual
was,
episode.
that was so great.
Amazing. I
Yeah.
loved it. So if you enjoyed that, we'll have plenty more. So follow we gotta do the list. The YouTube, Instagram.
Yeah. For now, we'll just say follow our socials.
Follow social.
Don't spend too much time
on it.
But you can follow
Please
them.
don't stalk us either.
Yes.
Yeah. But
And
thank
then-
you guys so much.
Yeah, and then leave us a review.
Yeah.
But
That would be super sweet. Until next time, we
We're
are
here for you.
guys.